I've been excluded on Oprah, you know.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. What if somebody say, I don't identify as black. I want to be another color.
Yeah.
Purple. I'm purple. People are afraid to speak out because of...
Cube is known for changing the game in hip-hop and building an empire in film, but recently, his views on social issues have been causing quite a stir. He's outspoken, unafraid, and challenging the way we think about self-expression, identity, and cancel culture. In this video, we'll dive into every time Ice Cube has spoken out against some of today's most controversial topics, starting with his take on why being yourself is now seen as toxic. Get ready for some real talk. If you're all about raw opinions, hit subscribe to stay updated.
That it's harder to be a man in America now than it was when you were a kid?
Yes. Saying what you feel, being yourself, is what they call toxic. You know, we shouldn't be called toxic for our instincts and for, you know, I was born this way. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Ice Cube starts by saying that it's harder to be a man today than when he was younger. He believes that simply being yourself and following your instincts is now often labeled as toxic, used to shut people down rather than understand them. Cube's message is clear. People shouldn't have to apologize for who they are, especially when they're just being authentic. He points out the contradiction in today's culture. We're told to be true to ourselves, yet when we do, we're often criticized. Cube challenges the idea that masculinity or any form of identity should automatically be seen as harmful. After questioning why society labels authenticity as toxic, he shifts focus to another hot-button issue: how race is handled in America.
I think race, it takes up too much space. There's people that we all have in our lives who are our same race that we can't stand. And there's people in our lives from other races that we get along with way better. So it's not about race. It's not about color and gender and this and that. It's about who do you connect with? You know, who do you vibrate with? You know what I mean? Who's on the same wavelength? Who wants to be the same kind of person? Who wants to do the right thing when you want to do the right thing? That's who you connect with. So I think a lot of people make a lot of money off of the racists fighting against each other and bickering. And they the ones who push it in our face all the time.
Ice Cube believes that race plays too big a role in our lives and suggests we should connect with others based on shared values and mutual respect, not just race. For him, it's about who you are at your core, not your color or background. He takes aim at those who profit from fueling racial division, calling them out as people who benefit from keeping society fractured instead of working to unite it. This idea of looking beyond race leads Cube to question society's broader obsession with labeling and dividing people based on their identity.
You can't get out, like you can't find the exit, and it continues to play on the screen, and you're just running around looking for the exit, and this bad movie continues to just haunt you day by day by day by day. You know, that's what we're caught in. A never-ending, winless battle of, you know, of race and color, and we're worried about, you know, where you from, and, you know, hip-hop. What's great about hip-hop, like, it was a saying in hip-hop, early hip-hop. I think Rakim coined this phrase, you know, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. You know, and it's so true. It's not about where you come from. It's about where you at right now.
He compares the fixation on...
Ice Cube compares society's focus on race and identity politics to being trapped in a bad movie, a never-ending cycle of division and conflict. He believes this narrative distracts from what really matters, where you stand today and who you are now, not where you come from. Cube sees hip-hop as a movement that embraced this forward-thinking approach from the beginning, prioritizing character over background and focusing on the future instead of getting stuck in past divisions. While hip-hop continues to move forward, Cube feels other forms of media are still fixated on conflict and division, unable to break free from the past.
Reality shows that basically push the same thing, but in a reality-like setting. So, you'll watch a movie on race, okay? And you flip the channel now, you're watching a somewhat like documentary reality show that's highlighting and magnifying race and status and where you belong in this country and where you don't. And, we're highlighting the bad guys here. We're highlighting the good guys, it's always really showing controversy and pitting each other against each other. And with the reality shows, controversy sells. So they're not showing people getting along. What they want to get to is the fight, the conflict, the argument, the throwing of the bottles, the turmoil.
Ice Cube points to reality TV which thrives on drama and division. Cube criticizes how these shows push the narrative of good guys versus bad guys, creating conflict rather than showing real unity. It's about controversy, fights, and differences, not real life. Cube's challenging us here, asking if this constant stream of conflict is really what our lives look like, or if it's just another way to keep people divided. But Cub's critiques go beyond media narratives. He's faced direct exclusion himself for not aligning with popular opinions.
Really, not to talk to people. I think whether we agree or not, that has nothing to do with it. It's like, this is what it's all about. Let's talk about it. Let's debate. And I've been shut out.
That sounds like right-wing extremism and whataboutism.
But I've been shut out. Some platforms will not have me on.
Why?
They don't like that I'm, an independent thinker. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not part of the go along to get along gang, so to speak. So, I'm an outsider. And so, I'm not part of the club. So I have to go places for one, that I'm welcome, and where I can voice my opinion without somebody, saying I'm a bad person and that they never want to have me on their platform again.
What platform?
Ice Cube opens up about being labeled an outsider for thinking independently, someone who doesn't just go along to get along. He's been excluded from platforms and branded for refusing to fit into a specific ideological box. Cube emphasizes that it's not about rejecting others' ideas, but about insisting on the freedom to question and think for himself. This independent mindset has come at a cost, but for Cube, staying true to himself is worth it.
I've been excluded on Oprah,
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central, you were successful at a young age, you have dignity, you say what you think. I thought that was the goal.
Me too. I don't know what it is, but, several of my, I had a movie called Barbershop,
I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate with the cast. I produced a show called Black White, and it was a very controversial show. And once again, they had the whole cast on, but I wasn't invited. And so I don't know.
On Oprah's show.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's really.
But Oprah's obviously a saintly, godlike figure who's revered by all decent people. Why would she exclude you?
I really don't know. That's something that I would.
Ice Cube recalls being shut out of shows like Oprah, despite his inspiring story of rising from South Central to fame and success. This leads him to question what true inclusivity really means. He wonders why, when his perspective is positive and rooted in his own life experiences, it's often left out of the conversation. After reflecting on his exclusion from platforms that once celebrated him, Cube shifts to a bigger issue: cancel culture. For him, it's not just about silencing voices. It's about creating a climate of fear that discourages anyone from speaking freely.
People are very polarized in all kind of ways. People are afraid to speak out because of the cancel culture that we have today. So I just think, people are afraid and they're running to their corners, In
a way, it is a cancel culture. It behaves like that.
It does, because it makes not only the person that's getting canceled, they're trying to shut them up, but anybody's watching now, they shut up because they say, if it can happen to this guy, it can happen to me. So by smashing somebody who says something that you might not like and canceling them, it actually reverberates throughout the whole community.
Ice Cube describes cancel culture as cancer culture, explaining how it creates shockwaves that discourage others from speaking out. For him, cancel culture isn't just about punishing one person, it's a warning to everyone else to stay silent. It creates a chilling effect that stops society from having the honest, open conversations it desperately needs. This ties directly into Cube's belief in standing by your own voice, no matter the consequences.
To hell with the consequences. You got to be willing to fight for your rights and fight for what you believe in. And if you're a person who believes in freedom of speech, you have to fight and say what you feel and let the chips fall where they may, and stand on that. And, it may not be an easy road, but I think you feel better about yourself when you say what needs to be said at the time it needs to be said, and not afterwards where you go home and think, I should have said this when that guy